Thank you for joining us for the IRS Reporting webinar. All Sertoma clubs must file a Form 990 with the IRS. There are 3 versions of 990, with the IRS determining which you must file. The determining factor for which form you file is your level of gross receipts and total assets. Smaller clubs with gross receipts less than $50,000 can file electronically using Form 990N. For clubs with gross receipts between $50,000 and $200,000 and total assets less than $500,000, Form 990EZ can be used. Clubs raising in excess of $200,000 gross receipts or having assets valued at greater than $50,000 must use IRS Form 990. Additionally, if clubs raise more than $1,000 from an unrelated trade or business, Form 990T must also be filed. Please note that all revenues are used in calculating gross, including dues collected by individual members and passed on to Sertoma headquarters. This return is required to be filed by the 15th day of the 5th month after the close of your fiscal year. For most clubs, that is November 15th, but some clubs run on a different fiscal year. If a club does not file the required form, there can be penalties and interest charged for the non-filing. The Form 990N is an online information verification form only. There is no paper return developed for this. This form does not require financial information. It is used by the IRS to determine how to contact you and if you are still in existence. The Form 990EZ and 990 both require you have all financial information available when preparing. Both forms will also require that you tell the IRS the program services you accomplished in a year with the funds you collected. You will also be required to list the club's board of directors. Every person on the board is responsible for seeing the tax forms are submitted. The IRS will hold each board member responsible if the filing is not completed. Schedule A. Everyone who files a 990EZ or 990 must also file a Schedule A. This form shows that the Sertoma Club is being supported publicly and allowed to maintain its status as a public charity. This is very important. The club must be active in its charitable activities to maintain its tax status, even under the Sertoma Group exemption. In addition to filing annual paperwork, your club must undertake additional measures to maintain your tax-exempt status. It is important to refrain from activities that may jeopardize your tax-exempt status. These include private benefit and inurement, political campaign intervention, and legislative activities and lobbying. Private inurement is the accrual of benefits to individuals or organizations to an insider. This restriction is to ensure that a tax-exempt organization serves a public interest and not a private one. An example of prohibited inurement would be to include payment of unreasonable compensation to an insider. Political campaign intervention is absolutely prohibited from directly or indirectly participating in or intervening in any political campaign on behalf or in opposition to any candidate for public office at the federal, state, or local level. Political contributions may result in the revocation of tax-exempt status and or imposition of certain excise taxes. Voter registration or educational activities with an evidence of bias for or against a candidate by the club constitutes campaign intervention and is not permitted. Candidates may appear at events open to the public or speak at an event as an invited guest as long as certain rules are followed. These are described in more detail in the IRS document Compliance Guidelines for 501c3 Public Charities. The club must maintain its corporate status with the state. For more information on these requirements, listen to the training, State Registrations and Filings. Maintaining financial records and club governing documents is not only good business practice, but a requirement to maintain tax-exempt status. There are legal requirements on the number of years documents must be kept. For a full listing, see the Club Record Retention Guidelines on the training page. For more information, see these available resources. Thank you.